Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Bangalore की श्री श्री निताई गौचंद्र की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की राय गौर प्रेमानंद ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Shloka. It's appearing in the screen here. So, welcome all of you. Only thing is coming almost to my forehead. This one. It looks like a big nose. Huh? It can be here. I said it will fall off. Huh? Okay. Welcome all of you for the Bhagavatam class this morning here at the lotus feet of Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra at Sheshadripuram. We are very, very wonderful series of shlokas that you all are currently discussing. Huh? The chapter entitled Rahuguna Converses with Jadabharata. Fifth canto, 12th chapter, text number 13. Yatrottama-shloka-guणानुवादः प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविगाथः निषेव्यमाणोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षोर् मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे। यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः निषेव्यमाणोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षोर् मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे। यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः निषेव्यमाणोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षोर् मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे। See the second line, Gramya-katha vighatah, you should say. Huh? Similarly, Matim satim yachati vasudeve. So now all the Prabhujis will recite together, okay? Yatrottama-shloka-guणानुवादः प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः निषेव्यमाणोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षोर् मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे. Now Mataji's together. Yatra, in which place? In the presence of exalted devotees. Uttama shloka, guna anuvadaha, discussion of the pastimes and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prastuyate is presented. Gramya-katha vighataha, due to which there is no chance of talking of worldly matters. Nishevyamanaha, being heard very seriously. Anudinam, day after day. Mumukshoho, of persons who are very serious about getting out of material entanglement. Matim, meditation. Satim, pure and simple. Yachati, is turned. Vasudeve, unto the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Who are the pure devotees mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotees, there is no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is praised and worshipped with full attention. In the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to merge into the existence of the Absolute Truth abandons this idea and gradually becomes attached to the service of Vasudeva. Please repeat. Who are the pure devotees mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotees, there is no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is praised and worshipped with full attention. In the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to merge into the existence of Absolute Truth abandons this idea and gradually becomes attached to the service of Vasudeva. Purport. The purport by Srila Prabhupada ki, the symptoms of pure devotees are described in this verse. A pure devotee is never interested in material topics. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has strictly prohibited his devotees to talk about worldly matters. Gramya vartha nakahive. One should not indulge in talking unnecessarily about news of the material world. One should not waste time in this way. This is a very important feature in the life of a devotee. A devotee has no other ambition than to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This Krishna consciousness movement was started to engage people 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord and in His glorification. The students in this institution engage in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness from 5 in the morning to 10 at night. Or you can say 4:30 to 9:30. Just half an hour you can shift it a little before. They actually have no opportunity to waste their time unnecessarily by discussing politics, sociology and current events. These will go their own way. A devotee is concerned only with serving Krishna positively and seriously. So, Lord Krishna has 4 very special qualities which are most adored in the assembly of devotees. So Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. And he also is Samartha. is Vadanya. Put it in this thing, folio, you'll get that verse from CC. Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala, Samartha, Vadanya. There is one more good quality of Krishna. If you just put these three words, you will get it. Bhakta Vatsala, Samartha, Vadanya. Third quality is Samartha, fourth is Vadanya. The second quality is, it's a CC verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. Bhakta Vatsala, Kritagnya, Samartha and Vadanya. Four qualities. So these four qualities are very unique and very special in Krishna. Bhakta Vatsala means just like a cow very much is attentive to protect the calf. If any of you have seen how when a newly born calf, nobody can go near. The mother cow, although she is known for being most mild creature, she'll become ferocious, like a lion. If somebody goes near the calf. Like that, Lord Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. But as soon as he saw volleys of arrows sent by Bhishma Pitamahan, Arjuna's chariot and horses, and on Arjuna also, Arjuna was almost about to collapse. Krishna couldn't tolerate. He became like that cow, which becomes ferocious. He picked up the wheel of a chariot and came to be called as Rathangapani. So Parthasarathi became Rathangapani. And he dashed towards Bhishma Pitama. At the time his upper garment, Angavastra, was flowing down. His hair became disheveled. Face was covered by the dust cloud raised in the battlefield. And Arjuna was catching his feet. He was reminding the Lord about the vow that he had taken, that I will not lift any weapon. And Arjuna was trying to dissuade him from lifting any weapon. But Krishna didn't care a fig about it. He said, hell with all my vows. Protecting you is more important for me than upholding the so-called vows. So he lifted the wheel and charged towards Bhishma. So at that time, all the conches blew. It was almost the end of the war that day. So Bhishma put his bow and arrow down. With open arms, he welcomed Krishna. At that time, Bhishma felt the Lord, even when he comes to attack an enemy, he looks very sweet. That is his madhurya. Because the drops of perspiration on his face, his anxiety-ridden eyes to protect his devotee Arjuna, and his disheveled hair, and the lightning speed at which he was coming, all these things were very charming to the heart of Bhishma, who was relishing the Virya Rasa, Chaival Rasa. So this is Bhakta Vatsala. And second quality is Kritagnya. There are two words in Sanskrit, Kritagnya, Kritagna. Jna means knowledge of. Krita means deeds that are done before. So if you are grateful to somebody, how are you grateful? Because you are grateful to them for the deeds they did to you before. Like your mother has sacrificed so much time and her energy by raising you from childhood to up to what you are now. And she didn't have any expectations from you. She just wants to see you happy. So that well-wishing nature of the mother really charms our heart, and we really feel, I want to do something back. And what will I do? She doesn't ask for anything, that is another problem. So you strongly feel, that is the reason why children cry tears remembering mother, father and all, because we have received a lot, but they are not asking anything back. So Lord also feels great gratitude to devotees, because devotees tirelessly serve Him day after day, month after month, year after year, life after life. Although there are many people in the world who may ridicule the devotees, there are many people who may harm the devotees. Like Prahlad was harmed. Parikshit was cursed for no great reason. You will see Ambarish Maharaj was about to be harmed by Durvasa. Similarly, there are various devotees who are insulted by so many other fellows, like Saubhari Muni insulted and cursed Garuda, the bird carrier of the Lord, like that. So you find many examples like this. Haridas Thakur was insulted by that Gopal Chakravarti. So in this way, devotees may be insulted, devotees may be harmed, devotees may be mistreated. But despite all these things, the devotee's determination to love and serve the Lord doesn't waver even a bit. So seeing that, even the Lord is amazed by the devotee's devotional service. And the devotee performs devotional service constantly, without any gap. Abhikshnashaha, the word is used. Shrimanti gayanti grinanti abhikshnashaha smaranti nandanti tavehitam janaha tayeva pashyanta chirena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam. So, when you continuously perform devotional service without a gap, then the purification starts happening very easily, fastly. Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Sudhana Maharani ki. So, then the devotee starts seeing the lotus feet of Krishna by continuous performance of devotional service. So, in this way, the Lord feels gratitude when Lord Krishna gave unlimited sari to Draupadi. So Lord told Draupadi later on that when you called me, Hey Krishna, Hey Govinda, Hey Gopichan Vallabha, Hey Dwarakavasin, like that when you called, at that time immediately I felt gratitude in my heart, immediately. That anyone who calls my name desperately and genuinely, from the bottom of the heart, without any kind of pretension, with no other kind of motivation, out of a great affection, in a mood of love, they call me. He said, that name attracts me the most. Yeah. I heard a I heard a pastime from Mahabharata. One time, somehow or other, Bhima developed a great desire to learn singing. So he went and he got one harmonium box and started playing. See, in our kirtans, swara and tala and raga, all are very important. For tala, for example, the Rupaka tal we say, no? Or Adi tal means 1, 2, 3, 5, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adi tal. So if you don't know the proper tal, sometimes kartal is going in one direction and mridang is going another direction. Singer is in third direction. So it won't come out well. So tala is very important. Raga is also very important, proper raga. Therefore you have to sing with Sarigama Padanisa, practice. And then that's when Narada Muni is carrying the veena, which is emanating Sarigama Padanisa Sanida Pamagari. So why we have that Sarigama Padanisa, the harmonium? Because many times our raga goes here, there, we should align with that and sing and practice. Then it will come out well. So swara should be properly pronounced. So he had a desire to learn kirtan. So when he started playing, everywhere, all the people felt very uneasy, because it was a very rash voice. And it was also very loud also. Just like his eating is very heavy, the singing was also very loud. And Yudhishthira Maharaja, being very polite, he was very finding it difficult to stop him. Because he thought he'll get discouraged. You have to be sensitive to people. So he tolerated for a while. After that, it went overboard. He was doing practice for long, long hours. Then he called Draupadi and said, Draupadi, this is one challenge I am facing. Do you have any suggestion? Can you, somehow or other, stop him by some means? She said, that's very easy. Then Draupadi went to Bhima and said, Bhima, why don't you, I see that you are doing a serious sadhana practice of learning kirtan. So anything you need sadhana, correct? Not kirtan also is a type of sadhana. But sadhana generally should be done in a lonely place, not in a palace, where so many people are living. You are not going to learn it so easily. Go to a lonely ekantastan in the forest and you practice and you will become really an expert. And taking Draupadi's advice seriously. So Bhima went to the forest. So in the forest, it was somewhere in a mountain range, in a shady tree, he sat and started practicing harmonium at the bank of a river. And loudly was singing. Now Yudhishthira was very relieved. Thank God, now no more sound now. Peaceful. But then he went on for a while. And then, after 2-3 days, one of the days, one dhobi came that way and he saw like this, And then he went away. And Bhima called him and said, hey, what are you looking for? He said, oh, nothing, nothing, just like that. Now honestly tell me, whom are you searching for? I am sitting here, you want to ask me anything? He said, no, no, I was searching for my donkey, he said. Because I heard the sound. I heard the sound, I thought it is my donkey braying. Now I understood it is you singing, so I am sorry. Don't misunderstand. And then he left. Bhima simultaneously became angry also, and he became very sad also. He became angry on the dhobi. With his great anger, he took the harmonium and broke it on a rock. He threw it on a rock and broke to pieces. He felt that this fellow is saying, my voice is like a donkey. He felt very bad. And then he called Krishna's names very desperately and loudly. And Krishna appeared suddenly. And he was surprised. He said, my dear Lord, how did you appear here? Krishna said, how can I not appear if someone remembers me? You called me my name with my remembrance. Therefore I came. But then he said, even this dhobi is calling me like a donkey, my voice is like a donkey. How did you come? Lord said, I don't care about your sweetness of your raga when you sing. I more care about your attitude with which you sing. Your genuine call and my remembrance, that has attracted me to you. So what is the lesson you learn from this? Krishna is grateful to anyone who is genuine and from the bottom of the heart. Purely they don't do any pretension. See, even in sadhu sangha also, there is an antaranga sadhu sangha, bahiranga sadhu sangha. Bahiranga sadhu sangha means you superficially respect a sadhu, but you don't really take advantage of his association. For example, Chitraketu superficially respected Angira Muni in the early stage. When Angira Muni came, he gave him a big garland, he bowed down to him, he gave him fruits to eat, he sat at his lotus feet just below his seat with crouched position with folded palms. Everything was fine. It appeared like he's like a very humble disciple. But in heart, he was determined not to listen to any spiritual instruction. Because he said, I want a son. This fellow has come now, this sage. Now I will show all type of respect and then demand him to give me a blessing for a son. That means his agenda was clear when the sage came. This is called Bahiranga Sangha. Bahiranga Sadhu Sangha means external association. Superficial. It's like, if you go for getting diamond, or Navaratnas from an ocean, if you are surfing on the surface, you will only get fishes. When you dive deep, you get Navaratnas. Similarly, sadhu also, superficially you respect a sadhu, you will get some material benedictions. That's all you will get. But when one takes the instructions of the sadhu very deeply, faithfully, just like Sanatana Goswami asked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Keyami keneyamai yareta patroy, yeha nahi jani shudra kena noy, gramya vavahare pandita satyakari mani, apana rahita hita kichuna injani. He said, what is beneficial to me, what is not beneficial, I don't know those things. People call me Pandita and I take their words very seriously. I am such a fool that I think I am a great soul. And he said, who am I? Why am I suffering Trivida Tap, threefold miseries? I don't know answer to these questions, my Lord. I am simply a fool, number one. Like that, honestly, it came from the bottom of his heart. Nicha jata, nicha jati, nicha sangi, patita adhama, he said. I belong to a low caste, my associations are all very impure. And in this way he said, he is declaring his fallen position. This is called dainyata. So dainyata is a very important quality in approaching the Lord. Actually, in the modern times, the younger generation has become very hyperactive. So they do things. Therefore, you find many of the movies also, they move the pictures very fast. You have seen that? Some of the older people wonder, how can we see like this? But because these people, sometimes you must have seen in Instagram how quickly they change. Have you seen that? In 1 or 2 hours, they change the picture so fast because that shows the mindset of the youth nowadays. They don't have that patience to dwell on one thing for a prolonged period of time. They want something very quickly changing. Just as they change the channel in the TV. They, within 1 minute, they'll change 4 channels or 5 channels to see different things. So, approaching, the saintly persons or the Lord requires some amount of sattvic mindset which is sober, grave, sober, sincere, genuine. These are the qualities required. Otherwise, one's mind is hyperactive. Then one is just like surfing on the surface of the ocean to get fishes, that's all. So, Sanatana Goswami shows the Antaranga Bhakta Sangha. You can see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also treated different people differently, depending on what mood in which they associated with him. Like you see, Chandrasekhar Vaidya in Varanasi was, Mahaprabhu was staying in that place. So he told him, go and see at the door, one Vaishnava is standing. So he went and came and said, no, there is no Vaishnava at the door, he said. Really? There's no one? He asked. No, someone is there with a beard and mustache. He said, and that's the Vaishnava. Then Mahaprabhu went and welcomed him inside. Who was that? Yeah. So Chandrasekhar Vaidya saw him as a Dharavesh, with a beard and mustache and long flowing hair. He didn't look like a... According to us, Vaishnava means you should have a clean tilak, shaven head, shika, kantimala and bead bag hanging from the neck. Then you will say he's a Vaishnava. That means we are seeing Vaishnava only from a external point of view. That's what Chandrasekhar Vaidya saw. But Mahaprabhu saw the heart of Sanatan. So he knew that this fellow had to keep all this mustache, beard and all those things and all, Veshbhush, because he had to work under Nawab Hussain Shah. So he had accepted such attire out of external necessity. But his heart was a Vaishnava heart. Compare the heart of Kunti Maharani versus Vritrasura. Kunti Maharani is speaking pure devotional service. Vritrasura is also speaking pure devotional service, although it looks like externally an Asura. But he is more than Devata also. He's not even a Devata. Very exalted personality. Pure devotee, worshipped by pure devotees. As he says, Aham harer tava padaikamula vyasanu daso bhavitasmi bhuyah manasmareta supater gunamste grinita karma karotu kayah. He wants to serve the Lord with body, mind and words by being servant of the servant of Vaishnavas, he is saying. In this verse he says, this is externally looking like an asura, but the heart is as soft as any pure devotee. So one should not see the externals, but one should be able to see the internal state of consciousness, like Lord Chaitanya saw in the case of Sanatana Goswami. Even Gadadhar Pandit, when he was taken to Pundarik Vidyanidhi's place, he saw his externals. He was shocked at the beginning. Oh, he is wearing very attractive clothes, and he is living in a very lavish home. He looks like a jamindar. He is having gold and silver, all and diamonds, rings and necklaces and all those things in his body. He doesn't look like a Vaishnava externally. So there was a moment of suspicion in the mind of skepticism in the mind of Gadadhar Pandit. And he looked at Mukunda and said, why did you bring me here to this Pundarik Dham, that place? So then immediately Mukunda, understanding the mind of Gadadhar, he sang that famous Ahobakiyam verse. Hearing that, Pundarik Vidyanidhi went out of control in ecstatic bliss, remembering Lord Krishna's compassion. He erupted from his seat and he rolled on the ground, tearing his clothes, jumping up and down, calling on Krishna's names. His body manifested Ashtasatvika Vikar, and tears were coming like water coming from syringe from his eyes, and all hair stood on end, his body trembling. And Gadadhar understood that, oh my Lord, this is a pure devotee. He is desperately calling on Krishna in great viraha bhava. He said, I committed an offense. I will take initiation from him. Anyway, Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani and Pundarik is Vrishabhanu, so father and daughter only. Therefore, immediately he felt great attraction for him. So therefore, Antaranga Sadhu Sangha, Bahiranga Sadhu Sangha means one should not be superficial in approaching the Lord or the devotee. To the degree you are genuine, to that degree you will get Krishna. Like when Sugriva told, Sugriva was very, very frightened by seeing these two great personalities, two great lords, Ram and Lakshman. Oh my lord, they are very Ajanubahu, very tall and very hefty. And they look like very powerful Kshatriyas. I think Vali could not enter the Rishimukha Parvat. So I think he has arranged these two fellows to capture me and kill me. So Sugriva would come out of the mountain and see. And seeing them again, he will go and hide inside. Again from the other side he will see. And Hanuman said, why are you so afraid? Huh? He said, I am finished, he said. Why? Then Hanuman said, okay, don't worry, I will go and figure out who these fellows are. Huh? So when Hanuman went, he didn't go the way he looked. He changed his appearance. Huh? And he could not recognize his Lord, the Master. Huh? Later on, he went and asked his identity, and Ram asked his identity. And in the course of speaking, suddenly Hanuman realized that this is none other than my eternal Master, Lord Ram. And then he cried, and then he revealed his true form of Hanuman. And Lord told Hanuman, you revealed your true form, then I revealed my true form. Ye tamam. Isn't it? So, oftentimes the salesmen, when they are selling a commodity, they put up a plastic smile and cardboard face, we call it. You put up a smile to sell your commodity. If a commodity is 10 rupees, you call it, it's 100 rupees. Isn't it? And the buyer also, he puts up another type of show and he says, I don't have any need for it. And then the bargaining, they bring it to 50 rupees or 30 rupees or something like that. The whole idea is, many people in this world have superficial, artificial relationships. So, therefore, you can see the Lord, when He gets the genuine call, He becomes Kritagnya. Even if you do a little service, in the Ramayana there is one verse which says, Kinchit upakarartham. It says, even if you do little service to Lord, ekena tushyati, it is said, even if you do only one service in your lifetime, and that service is also a small service, and that too, you did that service because somebody told you to do, therefore you did. And you did it after giving some 10 reasons why you can't do it, and finally you had to do it. Still Lord Rama says that this devotee did, immediately he enters it in your account. He doesn't say that your attitude was bad, so I don't accept it. He doesn't say that. It goes into your account. Yeah. So, in this way, Lord is so grateful, and He is Kritagnya, and we are Kritagna. Therefore it is that God gives and forgives. We get and forget. Many times we take so many things from the Lord, like we put a solar panel and take all the heat of the sun and convert it into electricity and enjoy electricity at home. And we don't pay to Surya like we pay to electricity board. We don't pay anything. Or you take the sweet waters coming from the clouds, which is actually salt water converted into sweet water, isn't it? Coming from the clouds, pure water, potable water, drinkable water. And we take it, we don't pay a single penny to the clouds. Neither to the sun nor to the clouds. These are all material agents which are providing us these things by the command of the Lord. So what are we doing for the Lord in return, if you see? So we take, but we don't give. We are more in a mood of taking from the Lord. So, but Lord is Kritagnya. Even if you do little service, He will never forget it for lifetime. You see, Muchukunda was sleeping in a cave. Lord woke him up and gave him darshan and said, He said, Prarthitam prachuram purvam. Hey Muchukunda, in one previous lifetime you aspired for my darshan. And you purely performed the devotion service. I am grateful to you. Therefore I have come to give you my darshan. He woke up a sleeping man and gave darshan. How much grateful the Lord is. You can see. He is so grateful. So, that second quality. What the third quality is? Samartha. Samartha means the Lord has ability to fulfill any desire. There is nothing that Lord cannot. That's why you say, in Vritrasura, in one of the prayers he says, Nanaka prishtam nachaparameshtyam nasarva bhaumam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhim apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahayya kangshe. Which means, Lord can provide you all these things. Nanaka prishtam nachaparameshtyam. Naka prishtam is Dhruvaloka. Parameshtyam is Satyaloka, Brahmasloka. Sarvabhaumam is, the earthly kingship. Na rasadhipatyam Even the Bila Sarga and all that, there are some great planets below also. Now Yoga Siddhim, not Ashtasiddhis also. Or Apunar Bhavam means moksha, emerging in Brahman. None of this I want, he says, which means all these things the Lord is capable of avoiding. Prabhupada says all living entities, up to the point of Jnani wanting to merge in Brahman, all are beggars, Prabhupada says in the Ishopanishad. He says that everybody is a beggar, Lord is a awarder. Therefore he is called Samartha, Sarva Samartha. He is capable of awarding you anything you want. You read the 5th canto, 3rd chapter, the Brahmanas are telling the Lord, my dear Lord, what do you gain when we offer you anything? You are the giver of everything. We take things from you and we give it back to you, like offering Ganga water back to Ganga. So, if somebody is worshipping you with some puja, they may often come to you for some benediction in return from you. Like, you can award some material benediction, like a land or wealth, or child, putra bhagyam or something like that. Or you may give, success in business, or elevation to heaven, or liberation from material world, or ashtasiddhis, or even entry into a spiritual world, offering them swarupa siddhi, siddha deha. Dandat pranam, Bhaktivinoda Prabhu. So, in this way the Lord can award anything that Jiva may want to get from the Lord. Therefore they are saying, what are you doing for you? You are doing everything for us. Just like a small tender child, what can the tender child do for the parents other than taking? It's very cold winter, without even the child asking, the parents are providing sweater. They're providing socks, they're providing gloves, they're providing a vehicle to take to the school. Child is just taking. We are all just taking from the Lord. So the Lord is Sarva Samartha. And Vadanya means what? He is very munificent and benevolent in giving what the jivas want. Some people may be rich also, but they will not give. There was one very big crorepati, he had thousands of crores. And he used to come to ISKCON temple and talk big things. So many people pampered him with lot of sweet rice and, lot of special prasad, garland, taking him for darshan and hoping that this fellow one day is going to release a big amount. He was coming for 4 or 5 years, but he will not give a single penny. Kanjus, very miserly. So, that means there are people like that who have a lot, but they don't want to give. Whereas Lord has a lot also and is capable of awarding, and he awards also. This Vadanya. He is Samartha and also Vadanya. He gives also. He is so kind. And once you become his serious devotee, the Lord feels so much for his devotees. He cannot forget such a devotee. Like you see the Pandavas, they went to forest. So the Lord went to forest also. You will see Kamyakavan, the Lord goes to sit with the Pandavas and chat, talk to them. They go to Vrishakaipavan, Pavan, there also Lord Krishna comes. When they were in and they were in the Kandaprastha, Lord helped them to turn it into Indraprastha. So he was going and sitting in Indraprastha palace also with them. One time when Narada Muni was narrating the Prahlad's pastime, Vishnu Maharaj felt inferior. He said, what a great devotee Prahlad is and what an insignificant devotee I am. He was thinking like that. So that time he told one famous verse, Yuyam diloke patabhuri bhaga lokam punana munayo biyanti yesham punanam vasatehi sakshat guda parabrahma manushya lingam. There is one verse like that. He says that, my dear king, all the great sages in the forest who are meditating on Lord Krishna in their own hearts, when they want to meet Krishna, they are all queuing up in your palace because Krishna, vasatehi sakshat, he say. Krishna has come here and put a tent in your palace for 1 month or 2 months. So your home, your palace only has become like a temple, just like Jagannath is sitting here, all people are coming for darshan. Similarly, Krishna is sitting in your palace and all people are coming for darshan to your palace. So the Lord has made your home into your palace into his own temple. He's staying. So glorious you are that your devotion is holding the Lord in your palace. Like that he said to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So the Lord is very grateful to Pandavas for their service. Later on, when the Pandavas had to fight a battle, in the Kurukshetra battle, Lord Krishna was driving the chariot for Arjuna, so he came to be called as Parthsarathi. So when he was driving the chariot, Krishna observed that the horses are going a bit slow. And now in the morning they are leaving now for the battle, and the horses are not very enthusiastic. Generally, when somebody is not enthusiastic, what we will do? We will immediately criticize them. Look at you, you are like a dull head, good for nothing, or whatever. But what did the Lord do? Lord understood that they have some need, which I have to look into. So the Lord stopped the chariot and went and brought some grass, and the horses ate very happily. Buckets of grasses he kept for each of them, and they all finished all the grass. Whatever the Lord gave, they finished it. Then the Lord brought buckets of water for them to drink. The horses drank all the water. They finished. So it seemed that they were very hungry. And then the Lord found that their legs are paining, so the Lord massaged their legs. Horses felt so happy, they were showing the leg, this leg also. Lord was picking one leg and massaged bit by bit by bit. The whole leg he massaged. So what more the horses want? They got grass, they got water, now the bodily pain is relieved. Now they felt very happy. Now they are very eager to do some seva now. As soon as Lord Krishna started the chariot, zoom, like that they went like lightning now. So what do we understand from this? Lord Krishna is not only servant of Yudhishthira. Servant of Yudhishthira is Arjuna. And servant of Arjuna is the horses. So Krishna became servant of the servant of the servant. And he is serving, you can see that. This is Krishna's gratitude to devotees who in a focused manner do ananya bhakti for him. He is sold out to those devotees. Yeah. That is told by Sudama's wife also. Smarataha pada kamalam atmanam api yachati. She is telling, if somebody is smarataha pada kamalam, if somebody remembers Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord becomes sold out to that devotee. Atmanam api yachati. He will give himself to the devotee. He will not give any commodity. He will give himself to the devotee. So how amazing it is. See, for example, if somebody comes, you gave them 100 rupees and sent them away. You didn't give something big. Or somebody you gave 5,000 or 10,000 and sent away. But if somebody comes, you may give some object which is very dear to you, you may give them also. But giving oneself, there is nothing greater than that. Krishna gives himself. Somebody was telling me yesterday, I was in Coimbatore, somebody was telling, like Ratan Tata had come to that this thing, Isha Foundation, he had come. So one day, if a big businessman wants to spend with that Swamiji there, or Jaggi Vasudevan, he wants to spend one day there, 1 crore for one day. Yeah, that's a charge. One full day you can sit with him, talk to him, go into the garden, dine with him, everything. But you have to spend 1 crore. Krishna says, give me only 1 tulasi leaf. Give me tulasi leaf and I'll give myself to you. Just see. So, Atmanam api yachati. So, in this way, Krishna's qualities are very, very sublime. What is the second line of that CC verse? First line is... any intelligent person who is a devotee, knowing these 4 qualities, he will not worship anybody other than Krishna. That is the second line. You get that verse? I will just repeat that. Everybody can repeat that. It's a very beautiful verse it is. All of you please repeat. Bhakta vatsala kritagnya samartha vadanya Hena Krishna chadi pandita nahi bhaje anya. Meaning is, Lord Krishna is very kind to his devotees. He is always very grateful and magnanimous, and he possesses all abilities. A learned man does not give up Krishna to worship anyone else. Like that he is saying, just see. Therefore, that's the reason this verse says, who are the pure devotees mentioned? Here, in an assembly of pure devotees, there is no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology and all those things, mundane subjects. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms, pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is praised and worshipped with full attention. In the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to, even a jnani goes to such a sabha, he considers giving up the jnana marga and coming to bhakti marga. Huh? He wants to become a devotee, just like the four Kumaras became devotees, Shukadeva Goswami became devotee, Billamangal Thakur became devotee, they were all jnanis before. Huh? One becomes a devotee. And Prabhupada also says that this is a symptom of a pure devotee. He is prohibited to talk about worldly matters, kramya varta na kahibe, he says. One shouldn't indulge in talking unnecessarily about the news. One time in the Bhagavatam, when Shaunaka rishis were listening to Suta Goswami, Suta Goswami said that, there was one Shudra, he was beating a cow and a bull. Huh? As soon as they heard it, they said, wait a minute, why are you saying something which is very painful to our ears? Huh? The Krishna-katha is always very nectarian. It's like drinking amritam. But now you are causing pain to our ears by talking about some Shudra beating a cow. Cow is such a tender mother. Huh? She is so innocent. Huh? Even her cow dung and cow urine are so special. And all the Panchagavya we make, they are all auspicious items for worshipping the Lord. The ghee we get is useful for the sacrificial fire, we offer it. And the cow gives milk which nourishes our brain tissues to give us spiritual acumen, to understand the Shastras. And the cow is such an innocent creature and very dear to Lord Krishna. He's called Gopal, Govinda. Why are you talking such a thing that somebody is beating the cow? Don't even say that. And then they said, unless what you are going to further speak to us as connection to Krishna, better you stop this subject, they were saying. Which goes to show how attentive they are not to allow any useless talk to enter into the katha. Therefore, if somebody is sitting in the Vyaspeeth here and speaking, representing Veda Vyas, they have to be very careful about what we speak. We cannot just speak mundane subjects here. Because if we are speaking mundane subjects, we will pollute the minds of the audience who are coming to get some nourishment from Krishna. That's why he is saying that. Similarly, you will see when Navayogendras came by skyway, flying, and then King Maharaj Nimi received them. As soon as they landed, what is the first thing you will ask if anybody sadhu lands in your place? How was your journey? Which place you are coming from? How was the climate there? How is the climate here? Here is the room. Please take some bath, take some prasad. Did you get adequate rest yesterday night? All those things you will ask. None of it was asked by Maharaj Nimi. Directly asked them. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabanguraha tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priya darshanam. He said, in this world, to get a human form of life is very rare. And even though one may have a human form of life, in that human life also, to get the association of devotees is even more rare. Vaikuntha priya darshanam. But I am so blessed that I got your association. So I have 4 questions. Can I start? Immediately I started the question. So, yeah. And then in the purport, Prabhupada says that why he directly started the questions. The reason is, if you ask a sadhu, Kushalam, how is everything? It would be foolishness, he says. Why? Because sadhus are beyond dualities. They don't care about the Sukha, Dukkha, Shita, Ushna, Mana, Paman. Their heart is always fixed on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So asking them about, are you comfortable? Because they don't anticipate comfort. They anticipate that situation which will remind them of Krishna. If suffering will remind me of Krishna, I want suffering. If happiness will remind me of Krishna, I want happiness. Give me anything. What is auspicious for a sadhu? Like one time, somebody called me, can you come for that crematorium, that family? They said, I will send a couple of devotees. They will come and do kirtan. I said. They said, no, they are asking you only, they want. If you can come, it will be nice. I said, no, I have this one, I have that one, I am very busy, I was telling. They said, no, 300 people are coming. They are ready to take 300 Bhagavad Gitas. And you can also speak about 20 minutes to half an hour, you can speak also. Oh, really? Then I have to change my mind now. I immediately agreed to go. They said, but you have some programs, that can be adjusted. I immediately went. So I gave 300 Bhagavad Gitas to them, gave a class to them, did kirtan for them. So, generally Shmashan is an inauspicious place. But if you get a chance to serve Krishna, it becomes auspicious. On the other hand, Radha Gopinath was telling there was a Mangal Karyalaya, there was a marriage, they invited him. They made a pandal also for him to sit and give a lecture. But then when he sat, he saw all the people are wearing jig, 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 jig dresses. They were wearing like that, laughing, joking. Children were making noise, and people are walking, going, coming. And Radhakrishna Prabhu asked, when will they sit down? Huh? And to hear. They said it's a little difficult, seems it's a little difficult to make them sit down because they all are meeting different relatives. So the person who organized, he told Prabhuji, Prabhuji, you can do a little kirtan, they may sit. And he did kirtan also. He closed his eyes so that he will not become discouraged by that, distraction they are creating. And then he did kirtan, he opened his eyes and saw the same situation. And Prabhu said, then I left after that. Huh? He said, only the name is Mangal Karyalaya, but they didn't allow me to do Mangal. Correct? So a Mangal place can become Amangal, and a Amangal place can become Mangal for a devotee, depending on whether you have Krishna there or Krishna is not there. Our only criteria is Krishna. For anything to be considered auspicious, that's all. So therefore, asking Kushalam to a devotee is meaningless, because devotee doesn't care about sufferings. Even up to the point of death also. Nottama vartanam jushatam tat katamritam syat sambramanta kalepi smaratam tat padambujam. He says that na uttama shloka vartanam jushatam. He is saying sambramanta kalepi. Even at the time of death, devotees don't consider it inauspicious. Parikshit made even the death so auspicious by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, putting himself in the tat of Ganga, bank of Ganga, surrounded by all devotees. He became completely fearless. So there is nothing inauspicious for a devotee because devotee is always doing everything in relation to Krishna. Therefore, devotees don't want to hear anything that is not related to Krishna. The Sabha of Vaishnavas is actually meant to remind one another. Sabhajayante mama paurushani, Lord says. Sabhajayante mama paurushani. Lord's prowess is explained in the Sabha. How sweet Krishna is, how kind Krishna is, how compassionate Krishna is, how chivalrous Krishna is, how benevolent Krishna is, how merciful. So in this way, the more you hear, Krishna floods the heart of the speaker and the hearer. In this way. And then they carry Krishna with them and they go just like sponge dipped in water. It carries the water. Like that, devotees can remember everything in relation to Krishna. And that is the purpose of these ISKCON temples. So it's time up. Can I take 5 minutes, some questions? Yeah, that's fine. 2 hands up. Use the mic. Is the mic or no mic available? I need mic. Yeah, very good. Or can you want this? Can ask till it comes. Can ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. I am very, very deeply grateful to you for such sweet, free-flowing nectar. And actually, I was quite disturbed in last few days because of my health conditions. But by the sweet Mangal mercy of your nectarian katha, I am very pacified now. My question is that you were talking about Kritagya and Kritagna. So you explained about Kritagya. And Krishna is, in Gajendra Pastim also it is described that Krishna is extremely Kritagya. In one lecture I heard from Maharaj. And Maharaj said that gratitude is the fertile field where the seed of bhakti can grow. Then I try my best to be Kritagya in all situations. But like we do some service for Krishna, and Krishna is Kritagya. Means I have lots of bhoga vritti despite some attraction towards Katha and Kirtan. So I wonder when I do something wrong which Krishna doesn't like, which Shastras and Guru don't permit, how does Krishna feel? That is first one question. And second thing is that we are trying to do good to others, but it is a thankless task in this world, as you have already explained multiple times. So you do good to others, but they have, especially karmi people, materialistic people, they have their own misconceptions, and they spread humor or they create some havoc in your life. It becomes very difficult to be, even though they had done something good for us, but more than that, they have caused nasty havoc. So it becomes very difficult to be Kritagya to them at that time. But I know that Guru wants me to forgive them, Krishna wants me to forgive them. It's extremely difficult to forgive. So how do we forgive them at that time, and how do we become Kritagya at that time?
See, when it comes to Krishna, this way. Yeah. You see, when Krishna saw Duryodhana fallen on the ground with broken thighs, he did not feel happy. He felt sad. As mentioned in the Bhagavatam, one shloka is there. Now, why did the Lord feel sad about Duryodhana's defeat? Actually, Lord should feel happy because he wanted to bring victory to whom? Pandavas. Then why did he feel unhappy to see Duryodhana fallen? Because the Lord always feels compassion, even to inimical souls also, like asuric souls also. He feels pity for them because ultimately they are whose part and parcels? 15.7 says, Mamaivaamsho, Jivaloke, Jivabhuta Sanatana. Eternally speaking, ultimately Duryodhana is Krishna's part and parcel only. So Krishna feels sympathy, pity, when somebody is ungrateful to him and ungrateful to devotees and they create a mess out of their life. And Krishna doesn't become angry that, hey, he didn't do bhakti to me. Chodo mata. Beat him. He doesn't think like that. Actually, Krishna is only concerned about one thing: when somebody harms devotees, and then because somebody is hampering the progress of a jiva back to Godhead, then Krishna becomes angry. For example, Hiranyakashipu, why the Lord came to tear him apart? Because he was blocking the progress of all the souls back to Godhead. He was destroying Brahminical culture. And that's why even his own so-called son, our Bhaumasura, if you see, Bhaumasura was born to Varaha and Bhumi Devi. If you see, Lord killed him. Why? Because he was anti-Brahminical culture. Lord finished him. Because Lord doesn't become envious of somebody who hurts him, but Lord becomes upset with somebody who blocks the progress of jiva towards the Lord. For example, you ask any parent, if a parents are themselves kidnapped, they won't feel as bad as when their child is kidnapped. Correct, no? Yeah, because they can't tolerate that. They will say that, let me die, no problem, but my child should not be harmed. Correct, no? Same manner with Lord also. So Lord only feels pity for those who don't surrender to him. And not only that, he has made many, many baby steps for them to come to him. Karma Kanda he has kept. Then there is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. And he says that openly in the 12th chapter also. Mayyeva Mana, that's why he says. And then if you cannot do that, Ata Chittam Samadhatum Na Shaknoshi Maisteram Abhyasa Yogena Tato he says. And then he says, Abhyasepi Asamartosi. He says, that also you cannot do. The next one, at least work for me. He says, finally he says, if you cannot work for me, if you cannot even donate for me, you don't enjoy the money, at least donate for some social cause at least. He says. Because if you keep that with you, you will hurt yourself. So don't hurt yourself, be selfless in giving away. Like that is it. Even though you will not give it to me, no problem, give it away to somebody, like that he says. So you will see that Lord is in a mood of bringing the jivas back to his lotus feet. He doesn't feel bad that somebody doesn't do bhakti to me. He wants us to do bhakti to him. For whose good? For our good only. That was the first question you asked. The second question, about you do something good for some people, far from they being grateful to you, they become inimical to you. Sometimes they even become envious of you or inimical to you, and it's like biting the hand that feeds, we say, no? Some people do like that. Why they do that? There are various reasons for this. One of the reasons that we think of why they are doing it is because we think they have become envious of us. They are ungrateful and they are envious. That's what we generally estimate it to be, which may not necessarily be the case. Because sometimes we think we want to do good to somebody and you go and give them a piece of good advice. Or you stop them from doing something wrong. But they decode it differently. They say that, why are you becoming a self-appointed advisor in my life? I never sought any help from you. But you are putting yourself, you are coming into my life and interfering with my independently enacted activities. If I am going to hell, allow me to go to hell. You don't come my way. Some people say like that. So they consider you not a friend. They consider you an enemy because they want to do something which you are not allowing them to do. It's true that you are not allowing them to do for whose good? For their good only. Still they don't want you to interfere. For example, we go to hostel to call the students for the program. There are students who will never attend our program, but they don't allow others to attend also. You seen that? In fact, they become anti-elements and they report to warden and they say, don't allow this program to go on. We should tell them, please eat some cookies and keep quiet. Allow the program to go. We will feed you prasad. You don't have to sit in the class. Without class also, you get free prasad. Others can gain some knowledge of the Gita, but they don't want, because what they think is, oh, if these people become serious devotees, they may become sadhus, or they may not study and they may not get. So some of them become like envious. So Prabhupada says that, sadhu's job is a very difficult job when we do. At the same time, for such people what we do, we pray from a distance for them. You are talking about somebody, but even parents sometimes try to do good to their children, and children misunderstand them. Children think that why are parents forcing Krishna consciousness on us? We want more independence, more freedom. It's also true that some parents can become fanatical also sometimes. That fanaticism is another thing people hate. Like for example, there was one fanatical devotee who got married to a non-devotee girl because of the same caste, parents told them. So after she got married and came home, husband said, see, you are not even chanting one round also, you have no experience of reading Prabhupada books and everything. Now, at the same time, you should be aware that I am a Brahman initiated devotee. I am a senior devotee, now I have to somehow make you a devotee. He gave her mala, he gave her books, he said, every day you will have to do extra so that you can come to my standard. So she goes to bathroom and he's battering door and saying, in bathroom also sing Krishna's names. So she will get fed up. She left him and went to her parents' home and said, hey, this fellow is forcing me to become a devotee, I don't want to be. But when she went home, there her neighbor was actually a very close friend of hers from the college days. They were thick friends. So her friend invited her to her place and she was reading Ishopanishad. So this lady also went and she was shocked. You are also doing this? When did you start it? But later on, her friend was so kind in treating her, then within 3 months she became a screen owner. And the husband came to know, he called his wife, now that you have become screen owner, please come back. You can stay with me. She said, I want to be devotee, not with you. You are a dangerous fellow. So it took more than 2-3 years for her to return back to stay with the husband. By the time husband went from Kanisha to Madhyam. So sometimes we may want to help others, but they fear us because the trust is not there. Say for example, one of you have a boil in your hand, you are painful. I go to the kitchen and take a knife and say, come here, surgery I will do now. Will you come to me? You say, Prabhuji is coming with the knife, you will run away. He will say, Prabhu, you are not a MD surgeon, correct? No? You are not a authorized surgeon. I accept you have a lot of love for me. Love is good, but I can't trust you because you are not qualified surgeon. Anybody cannot take a kitchen knife and do surgery. Correct? Now, similarly, you want to do good for somebody. Therefore, there is a verse which says, Labante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayah Kshina Kalmashaha Chinnadvaidha Yatatmanaha Sarva Bhuta Hiterataha. If you want to do Sarva Bhuta Hiterata, you want to do welfare work for the other living entities, we have to be sinless. Or we have to be strict follower of a sinless devotee. Like Prabhupada is Acharya. You strictly follow him and in his footsteps, and then we become purified more and more, then people may be willing to listen to us. Otherwise, if we are still not, he says, Labante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayah Kshina Kalmasha, he says. We have to become Kshina Kalmash. That's the qualification to do good to others. And what is the proof that you are becoming free from sinful reactions? We will go from Rajas and Tamas to Sattva, and Sattva and beyond. We will be sober in our approach to helping other living entities. We will be sober. Other living entities will trust us. Now you may ask, Babaji, coming to Sattva and Vishuddha Sattva, how will they trust us? There is another verse which comes in Dhruva Maharaja's section. Yasya prasanno bhagavan gunair maitriyadi birharihi tasmai namanti bhutani nimnamapa ivasvayam. Just as water falls, water never goes up to sky. It comes from the top to bottom. Similarly, when Lord becomes pleased with you, whole world will bow down to you, it is said. Yasya prasanno bhagavan gunair Maitri Adivi, by your qualities and friendly behavior with all living entities, when that happens, Lord is pleased with you, then the living entities will respect you and be willing to learn from you. Otherwise, they will not listen. Yasya prasanna Bhagavan, gunair maitri adivihi, tasmai namanti bhutani. All bhutani will do namanti, he says. Dimna mapa ivasvayam, just as water comes down in a waterfall. You cannot artificially force anyone to respect you. If any of us feel somebody is not respecting us, don't become angry with that person. You try to find out what I should improve in myself, by which that person will respect me. For example, one devotee was telling me, Prabhu, when you gave that class, I wanted that devotee to be there. If he was there, then he will really understand who really I am. I said, hey, Prabhuji, so many others are respecting you. I said, he said, Prabhuji, others respecting doesn't touch my heart, but I want that particular, because that devotee thinks I am not great. I want that devotee to understand my real greatness. So I said, then I told him, go to the devotee, find out what all he expects from you, note down, and you fulfill it. No, Prabhuji, he has a very long list of expectations. Yeah. So the best way to earn respect from others is not by forcing them, but by, so therefore it is said, don't demand respect, instead command respect. Command respect means, it's not that we all are going to be the same. After 5 years, 10 years, we will change. Someday the devotee will come to you and start respecting. Just like Vishwamitra had the same problem. But Vasishtha started respecting him as Brahma Rishi later. Initially, because of his passion, correct, na? If any of us have this Vishwamitra consciousness, and you have some Vasishtha coming in your life, so it will take time. First he became Raja Rishi, then Maharishi, then he eventually became Brahma Rishi. But he had to undergo a lot of ego tussles and a lot of problems. Correct, huh? So better work on ourselves or work on the other fellow, huh? Yeah. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are so fortunate to have the presence of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. Anybody is supposed to come and find a Prabhu is going to you as a Prabhu is so calling. And people to converting. So we are so He will always keep us in His guidance, in His memory, in His loving prayer. And what is the class? So many wonderful points. He explained how we should not take a sadhu in a very mood, but take it under mood, taking some certain things. So we hope we can take benefit of the Buddhist association. And we thank Gauri. And Gauri is giving class tomorrow morning. And so the overcoming false ego. And Thursday morning, another art class that is for the Brahmachari Sangha. All are invited, so please take benefit of Prabhuji's association. So let's thank Prabhuji and chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One time I remember I was in second year and Prabhuji had come, and I was contemplating even President Prime Minister of India comes may not get that much benefit. If when the sadhu comes, we can take benefit. That is a real sangha. Sadhu sangha, Saraswati, Brahma after sadhu sangha. Also this is the sadhu about the devotee.
This is Prabhuji's only, na?
This is